Welcome to another edition of Talking Politics with Dotun Oladipo. I am your regular host, Dotun Oladipo, the publisher of The Eagle Online at www.theeagleonline.com.ng. Don't forget, like we've always encouraged, to subscribe to our YouTube channel, The News Pop NG. We are collaborating for wider dissemination of information for Nigerians and beyond. In this edition of Talking Politics with Dotun Oladipo, we will be looking at the upcoming general election in Nigeria. With just a little more than 30 days before the presidential and National Assembly elections, there are issues that have come up for discussion in the polity. And one of them has been whether the election will even hold or not, because of the fear of insecurity. This issue was initially raised by the Independent National Electoral Commission, and it was raised by no other person than the chairman of the electoral body, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, who expressed fear that the spate of insecurity, especially the burning of the offices of INEC and materials for the election, could make it impossible to hold the election. Indeed, the chairman is right. In less than 4 years, over 50 offices of the electoral body have been burnt, with most of them now in the southeast. Since the announcement that over 50 offices were burnt, more have also gone up in flames, not less than 2 now. And this has become worrisome to a lot of people. But a few days after making that pronouncement, the chairman of INEC has come back to say the election will hold as scheduled and that there is no fear. His conviction is premised on the fact that INEC has been working with security agencies to tidy things up here and there. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Rabo, also backed that assertion that elections will hold. General Irabo told newsmen that he has been coordinating the meetings of security agencies, especially with the police and the Inspector General of Police in particular, Baba Usman, and that things are looking up for the country to hold a successful election. That assurance came amid fears by the Economic Community of West African States Commission and the international community over the spate of violence across the country, including the burning of INEC offices and attack of supporters of the various parties, especially those of the presidential candidates. This is even more shocking because some of these attacks have occurred in areas where there is belief that certain presidential candidates should have an edge, and therefore there should not have been attack on their supporters. In a video that recently went viral, a supporter of the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, was seen being attacked by gunmen. And where? In the southeast, where it is believed that Peter Obi should have a say and an edge in that election. The frightening video showed the man being attacked on the floor and being threatened with guns.
Let me see that person. Who is that person? Let me see the face. Hey, wait. Let me see the face of that person you're hearing. Who is that person?
It's
Peter Obi. What have Peter Obi done for you? Eh? What have P2B done for you? He have not done anything. And you people want to sell us in this community. Eh? We have been warning you people, but you refuse. Eh? Will be the last chance you have. Anytime I see you wearing politics clothes or cap or anything about politics, show this car. Fire the car. Go this side. Fire this car. Fire them. Fire both the tire. Both the
So also, as a video gone viral with men who were speaking the Yoruba language, stripping a car of posters of the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Tinubu, as most people know, is from Yoruba land, where ordinarily his support base should be. But here are his kinsmen attacking one of his own. This fear is rife, but both the INEC chairman and the chief of defense staff and also the inspector general of police are assuring Nigerians that the elections will hold as scheduled and in a secure environment. But then there is also the greater fear of people being able to participate, not because of insecurity now, but failure to have their permanent voter cards. In recent videos that have gone viral, there have been people who have been complaining of not having access to their permanent voter cards.
Yes. They know what check out. They know what they do. They know what they are doing. And today not carry this video. Yes. They know what they do. This money. Only 5 cards they don't give for the card. This money. 5 cards. Yeah, we die here. Yes. We will collect our cards.
In one of such videos, and there are many of them indeed, people who were on the queue to collect their voter cards were heard complaining that they were being asked either to pay money or not being attended to at all by officials of the Independent National Electoral Commission. In one of the videos said to have been shot at the INEC office in Aguda, area of Surulere in Lagos State, several persons were heard complaining that they were not being attended to, or they had been asked to part with money for their cards. However, this is quite different from what the Independent National Electoral Commission has told Nigerians, and also quite different from the elaborate preparations made by the INEC to ensure that Nigerians have access to their PVCs before the election. Reports have it that there are close to 20 million unclaimed and uncollected PVCs around the country. Very shocking is the huge number in Lagos. with over 1.6 million. Around the country and in 17 states, a report added that over 6.7 million cards are yet to be collected. And this is despite the fact that the Independent National Electoral Commission had opened window or opportunities for these cards to be collected. Indeed, it had dedicated January 6 to 15, 2023 for the collection of PVCs. Yet, it's just complaints that have been had. In Lagos, as earlier said, there are 1,693,963 PVCs uncollected as at 2 weeks ago. Gradually, these are being collected, but we still have well over 1.5 million PVCs uncollected. According to a document released by INEC, the Lagos INEC office, there are 6,570,291 old PVCs that came from the INEC headquarters. And out of it, 5,653,330 had been collected. Meaning that of the old PVCs, there are 916,961 uncollected. And then for the new PVCs, there are 163,198. That was before the latest figures came up. Same thing is happening in other states of the country. In Edo State, 661,783 cards not collected as at December 29. Ondo and Ekiti states, they have 300,000 and 205,127 cards, respectively. That's still as at December 15. Osun State, the figure is also high. 437,454 PVCs yet to be collected. And the figure goes on and on. And this has brought again to the fore the issue of the number eventually of voters who are going to cast their votes in the election. Many are usually worried over this because in the last 3 or 4 cycles of elections in Nigeria, far less than half of the registered voters are voted. And a lot of people are worried that this number will rise in 2023. For instance, in 2015, Nigeria had 69,288,117 voters. Out of this number, just about 28 million voted. In 2019, the figure of registered voters was 84,004,084. Out of that number, less than 27 million voted. For this year, based on the figure released by INEC, the country now has a total of 93,469,008 voters. And the big question remains, how many of these people, out of this figure will be out to vote? Apart from the apathy usually displayed during election, where we have able-bodied young men who should be at the polling stations, voting or casting their votes, playing football on the streets, there are still so many who will be disenfranchised because their permanent voter cards remain uncollected. And this is where a lot of Nigerians are worried, especially those who believe that the masses should decide who wins the election. And this is why some parties are also bothered. So political parties, indeed, that based on their calculation of how the elections should run, will they get the actual number of voters to the polling booths on election day? Their worry are quite founded. This is more so because the Independent National Electoral Commission appears to have gotten its act very, very right based on some of the off-season elections conducted last year, where votes many believed counted. In the case of Osun State, a lot of people believe that the outcome of that election was indeed a true reflection of the wishes of the people. The same also were said of elections conducted by INEC last year. And as such, there are fears that the permutations being made over how parties will perform during the general election, especially that of the presidency, may fall flat completely because votes will count in the 2019 election. Be that as it may, the projections are still there. The figures are staring us in the face of how many voters we have, with Kano topping the list of the number of voters in the country with 5,921,370 voters registered. There is also Kaduna State that has 4,335,208 voters. Oyo State, Rivers State, Lagos State are also with very high figures. But indeed, Lagos tops this figure with over 7 million voters registered. But how many of them at the end of the day will make it to the polling booths? How many will cast their votes? Nonetheless, here on Talking Politics with Dotun Oladipo, beginning from the next edition, we'll be looking at all the permutations based on zonal expectations. That is, we'll be doing our analysis on the likely outcome of elections, especially the presidency, based on the 6 zones of the country. We wish you will stay with us as we bring in experts and those who should know, and also based on previous elections, what the outcome will likely be in the 2023 polls. Don't forget that you can also contribute to this program by either sending us a video that is not more than 2 minutes or an email of less than 500 words sent to Dotun Oladipo at theeagleonline.com.ng. Again, Dotun Oladipo at theeagleonline.com.ng. And don't forget, our partner, Newspop NG, is awaiting your subscription. Until we meet in the next episode, where we are going to start from the southeast in terms of our analysis. My name remains Dotun Oladipo, your host.